Hey, what's going on, guys? Sean here, living the corporate pilot life. I told you guys last week I'd come out here and show you these engines as they come out of the crates. Obviously, they're already out of the crates, so I missed the action this morning when they unboxed them. But these guys got right to work this morning, so I figured I'd come out here and show you these engines now that they're on the stand, show you what they look like bare. I've shown you guys these engines, you know, on the cowling, or I'm sorry, on the pylons when they're still on the airplane with the cowling open up. But it's a little different here with the engine sitting on a stand. It's not nearly as big as a lot of people realize. They're pretty small little engines, at least linked front to back. So anyway, let me show you a few things about these, and then I think over the next few days they're going to be going on the airplane. So let's check it out. Start up here at the front of the engine. As you can see, this is the main N1 fan. You can just spin that, and each one of these is an individual blade. You can see right here where they're an individual piece, and they're all created. They create one big fan when you slide them together. But so when you're actually on the ground and you're spinning it, it makes some noise, kind of a clinking noise. But as you spin it up, you know, tens of thousands of RPM, they all kind of fit together, especially when it gets up to altitude and pressure changes and everything changes at that point. So yeah, kind of cool. As we move our way back, just a big housing that really holds everything together. And this, if you notice, the outer portion right here, I don't know if you guys can see the light through there, that's just a straight shot right through here. That does not go through the main part of the engine, the core of the engine. That's called the bypass section. The large amount of air actually bypasses the core. This part right here, this is the core where the actual heat and the fuel and the fire all takes place. But yeah, a large portion of the air actually goes around it. I'm not sure what the ratio of bypass air is on this particular engine. They're all a little bit different. But yeah, that's what makes it a turbo fan instead of a turbojet. Turbojet does not have that bypass like that. It's just a big core. But as you come back here, this is the turbine that a lot of us don't get to see up close. This is the turbine where the hot gas is going to actually spin that as it forces out. So one thing I didn't realize is this and then the fan, I don't know if you can see the light coming through up there, they actually spin opposite directions through a gearing system. I always assumed that they spun the same direction, so something kind of cool that I didn't know. This wire right here, this is actually the fire loop. This is used to detect a fire in the engine. If it gets hot or over temps, that will detect it. And it's actually got a core. If you look inside there, that one's sealed off. But there's a core inside there, and it'll actually make contact, ground out, and that's what detects the fire. Coming over here, these are the bleed airs. I showed you guys the ports for these on the airframe the other day or last week. This is the high pressure air. This is the low pressure air. If you're under high power settings, this one, the low pressure, will supply plenty of air to pressurize the airplane. But if you pull it back to idle or something like that, then you need the high pressure air to supply enough air to pressurize everything. So we've got two separate ports. You can see where they're connected right in there. And they're tapping into the compressor section inside the core of the engine. And that's where we get the pressurization air and air-conditioned air from. This is all the accessories down here. You guys have seen most of this stuff underneath the airplane, underneath the cowling. So all of that should look somewhat familiar to you guys. We've got the electronic cables, the Canon plugs. This is what's going to provide the ignition, the starters, and all that stuff for the computer to run the engine. And then up here we've got our oil canister. As you can see, there's no oil in there right now. They'll put some oil in it once they get it installed on the airplane. And down here we got starter generator and such, alternator, all that stuff is up underneath the front there. So up top here, we do have one more bleed system up here. This one is actually going to tap into the bleed also. That's going to come off the high pressure system because it's going to be the hottest part of the bleed air. And that is actually going to run up to the cowling to help protect from icing on the front of the engine. So normally the cowling is going to come way out here, so that leading edge, that's going to be the cowling that gets hot under high pressure air, so that if we get any icing, it doesn't build up on there. We don't want to suck ice into the engines on these things. Bad things definitely happen. So yeah, kind of a cool little concept. Nice small little engine, not terribly huge, but provides about 5,000 pounds of thrust each. So very reliable. They keep working. TFE 731 engines. So anyway, that is the Hawker engine. This one's actually the Hawker 900 engine. So this is the flat rated engine. We get a little more power out of it down at sea level as we start climbing up. before it starts dropping off power. So they call them flat rated. So that's the engine for the Hawker. I hope you guys enjoy it. Something a little bit new perhaps that maybe you haven't seen before. Let me know what you guys think. Give me a thumbs up, like the video if you do, subscribe if you're new to it, and hopefully we'll see you guys on the next one. Keep living the corporate pilot life. See ya.